Dolphican origin created by the Discord user known as Cole Sands. This is a 2-impact origin. Fast, playful, aquatic people that live in the sea. You got high lung capacity. You only start to suffocate after 5 minutes underwater. Basically speaking, you've got water breathing potion effects for about 5 minutes before you actually start to suffocate underwater. Which means you can just spend a very long period of time underwater. It's not like you can spend a permanent period of time, but it's enough that you don't have to worry too much. And all you need to do is get some form of magma block, if I can find one down here. Oh yeah, what you need to do is get some form of magma block, go into it, and... oh, it doesn't reset it. So that doesn't reset the ability, but in order to reset the actual cooldown of this effect, we have to find our way back to the surface, I'm assuming. And if we go out of water, go back in, it's back now to being reset. So it won't reset by giving yourself air bubbles underwater. It will only ever reset this timer if you hit the surface world, which is definitely a very interesting thing there. I don't know if that was meant to be a quirk that's a part of this, or whether that's just something that happened because of how it was all programmed, but it's something to keep in mind. Carnivore, you can only eat meat. Pretty simple explanation here. If we just go to creative mode here and look at the foods, as you can see, anything that is not a meat is disabled from your eat at ability. Though, is cake a part of the equation? Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. We got up here, let's do this. It looks like you can still eat cake perfectly fine. That's pretty neat. Fast swimmer. You can swim incredibly quickly. We move at a pretty steady pace when we're not even swimming anyway. We go into swim mode. You can now swim pretty fast. I would say this is kind of the same. This might be the same. No, it'd be slightly slower pace than Dolphin's Grace on top of your normal speed. When you get Dolphin's Grace, though, from another dolphin, you zippity zip like a madman. But yeah, your swimming speed is pretty decent to start off with, and as I said, Dolphin's Grace adds onto it, makes it stupid. Grant of Grace. You can right-click on an entity to give them 30 seconds of Dolphin's Grace. I'm surprised there's no permanent Dolphin's Grace since you're actually a Dolphican. Well, you know, I don't think dolphins have Dolphin's Grace permanently in Minecraft either. Like what? If we right-click on him, yeah, now the dolphin has Dolphin's Grace. Yeah, the dolphin's definitely noticeably a bit faster than before as well. Because like, it looks like dolphins in Minecraft don't also have Dolphin's Grace. This thing. Spam it onto the squid. Spam it onto this squid. There are some noticeable speed increases. I need to find that drowned. Where's the drowned hiding? So if we right click the drowned. Oh yeah, the drowned's moving a bit faster. That's so stupid. Just imagine just doing this. So yeah, you can just give Dolphin's Grace to anyone. The ability will last 30 seconds and you can literally just spam it on them. Like, there's no cooldown to this ability. You may think that might be a touch overpowered, but when it comes down to it, dolphins literally spam it on you consistently. If you're always around a dolphin, the dolphin's continuously giving you Dolphin's Grace over and over again. So it kind of makes sense why it doesn't really have a cooldown. Because whenever you're surrounding a dolphin in Minecraft, it's continuously giving you a rebirth of Dolphin's Grace over and over again with no form of cooldown. Tail launch. You can use your tail to spring yourself forwards. Activate with this as your primary ability. Okay, so we press G. Oh yeah, it's just like a nice little burst of speed underwater. And you can use it to just bounce out of the water. That's cool. Boing! Splash. Boing! Ow. Does this ability work outside of water? No, this ability will not. So this ability will not work when you're outside of water. If it's raining, you can just activate this ability. Regardless of whether you're touching water or not, because it technically counts as rain. Nice. Sunburn. You get weakness when directly exposed to the sun. You have this little bar of the sun. This will only ever be ticking up when you're exposed to the sunlight. So if we set to midnight, this shouldn't be going up. Yeah, so only if you're in sunlight, this will go up. If it's not in sunlight, it won't go up. So if we put it back to time, set, day again. So when you're directly exposed to sunlight, this bar will be creeping up. Not really that slowly, but it's creeping up. So far it doesn't look like it gives you any form of effects over time whilst you're out of it. I'm assuming it will only actually affect you once you reach peak. So we're at the next bar, still nothing. And then now we max out. We start burning in the day. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, that was... We're still pretty bright. We need to get in water. Okay, that's interesting. Unsteady gait. You move unsteadily on land. Movement speed penalty is negative 10%. You know, that makes sense why you don't notice much of a difference. Okay, I can see. Like, by really just hyper analyzing that, yeah, I can see that speed slight decrease. But when it comes down to it, you can just jump sprint to avoid it. To Xeon, is there a penalty for air movement as well, or is it just only affecting your normal walking and running speeds? Because I can definitely feel like actually taking a moment to pay attention to it, I can see the notable decrease. But when you sprint jump, it is pretty much non-existent. According to the person who's looking in the code right now, it's apparently around 10% decrease, and it affects you whenever you're not submerged in water. So it affects you all the time on land. So really, it's a small amount of decrease. It's not going to be something that will hyper affect you too much unless you're doing things such as parkour. That's probably when you'll pick up on your slightly decreased momentum, because it's not really that different. Deep vision, you can see clearly while underwater. If we go back to third person, you can, if you pay attention to the lighting around, you can see it brighten up whenever I go into the water. Like, you can see it not just in the water, but everywhere gets an increase of vision. Ability you can turn off. I mean, I've got a question. Why would you turn this off? Why would you turn off this vision? Aquatic arms, you break block on the water as easily as on land. It's basically aqua affinity. It just allows you to... That's not a really good representation, using a bare hand on a... As you can see, you break blocks normally. When you're floating... Oh, it even works when you're floating. Sometimes they don't quite get that right. Because the air float... The floating... is also its own indication as well. It's very weird. But yeah, you've just got normal mining speed at all times. Pretty neat. There's not much more there. The next one is an origin called the Faker Origin, created by the Discord user known as Pixel. This is a multi-stage origin. You first have the human origin. The human ? This is a single impact origin. Entity 827, also known as the Faker Homicidal Shapeshifter, and the Humanoid Monstrosity is a class 6 entity. These entities take the form of ordinary humans with albeit slightly different traits. They are known to be friendly and almost human-like in their human guises, but once it reaches night, they'll turn into horrible beasts with great strength and speed and bloodlust. They usually kill anything in their path and eat them, and return to normal once day breaks. Using your primary key, you can become your true form. This has a 10-second cooldown. Oh boy. Oh boy, you big boy. And then yeah, you get the Faker here. Of course, we'll get to the Faker origin itself after we go through the human variation. So you can use your primary ability to switch between forms pretty often, but you can just switch between the forms, no problems. Next we got Power Rush, your secondary ability. Though this form is limiting, you can still access some of your power in this weakness state. You can give yourself a speed boost for around 8 seconds, this has a 20-second cooldown. So without it, you got a basic speed and resistance. Whenever you do press your secondary ability, you'll be given access to speed 2 instead of speed 1. So if we use that, we can move around a lot quicker, which is pretty neat. But that speed buff is only available for around 8 seconds before it removes itself, which is a pretty neat feature. Adapted. You've gotten somewhat used to being in this form for most of your life and allows you to take a few small perks from your true form. You have permanent speed 1, resistance 1, and 2 extra hearts. So we can already see the speed and resistance. If we go to survival mode, you have 12 hearts instead of the usual 10, which is, well, interesting to say the least. Weapons Master. Though weapons aren't usually your thing, you've learned how to use them to their fullest extent. You have heightened attack speed and unarmed attack damage. Wow, you actually... That's... I think that's a notable... Actually, best way to check. 1. Yeah, that is like, instead of doing like 1 damage and 2 damage on a 1 to 2 damage on a crit, you now do 2 to 3 damage on a normal hit and about 5 on a crit. I mean, that's not gonna be something that drastically changes how you play the game, because you're still going to be better off getting a weapon very quickly to make advantage of the other ability. So with this origin, if you go with this, okay, let's just think about this. 1, 2, 3. And then if we go back to human, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that is a definite increase in actual pace there. It does seem like you have a noticeable increase in your actual attack speed. It's nothing major. It's definitely useful when it comes out to any form of axe using, because axes tend to do a lot of damage. With a slightly increased attack speed that makes it so you can use them faster, it makes that axe damage far more potent and usable, because you're not going to have to sit there for a few moments to actually use your next attack. Power of the Black Sun. The Black Sun may mean nothing to humans, but to you, it is your god, your savior. It grants you a small boost in power, granting you Strength 1 and Haste 1. Strength 1 and Haste 1 at 9. Oh, so we got time set. But now we've now got Strength and Haste on top of the resistance and speed we had before. So if we just get ourselves an Everite pickaxe, we can now mine at a pretty reasonable pace, which is pretty cool. If we get out here and give an enchant on me with efficiency of 5, yeah, we can nearly instant mine. Honestly, Haste 1 is neat, but I honestly don't. If you're going to get Haste, you may as well go to 2, is kind of how I've always thought of it. Because Haste 1 doesn't drastically do much. Like, if we go back to day, yeah, it's still almost instantaneous breaking. Though, it is definitely something that will be more noticeable in the earlier game. Like, at the more earlier stages of the game, having that haste at nighttime is definitely going to be a lot more noticeable. When you're at the end game, having haste 1 and not having haste 1 is pretty much a not really matter much moment. But it's still pretty useful to say the least. Not what you seem to be. Your skin is slightly darker, a trait shared by your species. I mean, Insomniac, you find no need to sleep as you hunt at night. I mean, and we just right click? No, it just tells you no. If we go time, set, night, no, you can't even set your spawn here. Like, that definitely doesn't set your spawn. Also, can I just say, can someone make it so with these type of abilities? I just want one person to make it so that if you try to use a bed when you're specifically told you can't sleep, that the bed instead implodes. That would be funny. Perfect meal, you can only eat meat no matter what. Same as always, you can see in the food mood, you can only eat any form of meat. And non-meats are inedible, which includes golden apples. Hold on, the old age test. Yeah, you can still consume cake. But now, the fun part. We go to the big boy. So this is the Faker, a variant of this origin. This is the 3 impact origin. While Fakers have a human form, it is merely a disguise of their true form. When in this form, a Faker has incredible strength and speed and intelligence beyond human limits. They know more than we do and use this advantage to hunt down everything in their path. However, they have an extreme weakness to fire. Masquerade, your primary ability, this is just allows you to revert back into your human form. It is what it is. Feed off their fear, your secondary ability. Your secondary activates your ability to sense and manipulate of fear of those around you, affecting those with a 25 block radius with glowing, weakness 2, slowness 2, and blindness a 45-second cooldown. So if we press this, the zombie can't do anything when he's so slow. My god, I hurt. I hit like a truck. Bonk. So if we spawn ourselves a husk over here, then we press our secondary ability, he has slowness. Look at him. He's trying to keep up with us. Buddy, oh, pow over here, buddy. And he does no damage. Granted, we've got a lot of defense. But he's also got weakness, so he can't do anything. But boop, boop. Bye-bye, zombie. You had your fun. Ba. So there's your ability. Unkillable. You're an extremely powerful being with the ability to kill anything that tries to get in your way. You have a plus 14 unarmed damage, 15 armor bars. Holy crap. 8 plus hearts, resistance 2. So not only do you have a stupid amount of armor, you also have got resistance 2 and fall damage immunity. Whoa. Wow. Well, try fighting a Ravager or something No, not a Ravager. That's just too easy. With an origin of this type of tanking magnitude, it's time to get the big boy. What? Look at that little warden over there. Look at him over there doing his thing. Little does he know I'm Mr. Can tank the ever-living hell out of that boy. I did 100 damage to him by just simply hitting him with my fist. I'll fight you! Fight me! Oh, this is actually dumb. I love it. I love how dumb this is. I'm back! Slow down. Oh my god! When he's got weakness, he does absolutely nothing. Okay, slender body. Your slender body allows you to have longer reach and more jump height. Okay. You have jump boost 2, which means you can jump up 2 blocks. Cool beans. Also, how far does this reach? Look at my man's reach. How far is this reach? That's a pretty big reach, actually. Like what? All of that. So if we do that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you can reach about 10 blocks away from you. That's pretty wild. Darkened eyes. Your pupils are extremely dark, allowing you to see better in the dark. Oh look, we got a slight bit of night vision. I mean, up there we are. We have night vision now. We can see. Look at that go. Antimatter immunity. The black sun is mainly antimatter, leading you to have a natural immunity to it. This allows you to be safe from the void and the harming potion effect. Okay, and if we go to survival mode. I don't know about you, but why would you want to be immune to the void? Because if you fall into the void in the end dimension... Whoa. Oh no, you've just fallen so far that That's hilarious. So don't fall into the avoid in the end dimension. It will literally just mean that game's gone. Soft locked. Maybe just have it so that after you fall about 1,000 blocks, it will just teleport you to like 300 blocks into the air. Like to a Z, it's a Z or Y, it's a Y. To a Y of 300, so then you just start floating back down to the world. That's like probably something I would do, just to have it as a safe gate, just in case, you know. Intimidating size, you're 4 blocks tall, a towering size. I mean, you big boy be big. Monstrous appearance, you're just as dark as your human form. Nothing more really there, you're just dark man. Half pacifist, you don't like to fight often, but you will when it comes down to it. Your fists are powerful, making you see no use for weapons. I mean, considering you do effectively 14 damage per fist hit, you don't need a sword. Like, you legitimately don't need one. Like, why would you use a sword or an axe when it don't deal as much damage as, like, what? Oh, you can't even use it! That's good. That's good. I like that. I like that. I like that. You're really emphasizing the whole, why would you use a weapon when you can do so much damage with your fist? Like, I love that. It's just like you're telling it's like, oh yeah, you can do so much damage in your fist. Why would you use a weapon? What are you doing? Why would you use weapon? Weapon you just don't need. Fresh kill. You can only eat and heal from hitting enemies. Oh, so if we go to creative mode. Except for the cake, of course. Burning Fate. You're not killed easily, but the one weakness you have is fire, which deals 4 times the damage it should. Just there's fire there. Bong, 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 bong. That eats your... So it does 4 times damage, but because you already have a lot of defense, it takes a bit to eat through. So if we just tap lava. That's a problem. You've amped up fire base damage, but the lava damage hasn't been increased. And then Unending Hunger. You exhaust at 2.25 times the normal rate. Yeah, we saw that already. It's pretty mean. Your hunger is a pretty big boy. You'll consume your hunger pretty quickly. So now if we run, yeah, it's dropping quick. Down, and then down. It's still not as fast as what some origins have, but it's pretty decent. So the next origin on the list is the Axolotl origin. This one is originally created by Lua.exe, but this is an adjusted / remade / reconstructed version created by Neville because Neville. Because Luna.exe is not really doing much with it anymore because they don't really care about it, which is fair. The Axolotl origin is a 3-impact origin. You're adorable, you're also a highly regenerative predator, but you're still adorable. Amphibious, you're able to breathe both on water and in land. And you can also swim a little bit faster. If we go to here, you have the ability to breathe on water, you can breathe on land, it is perfectly good. You don't have to worry about breathing in any way, shape or form. Pretty neat. Emergency exit. When you would die, you instead briefly gain invisibility, speed, and massive regeneration. However, your maximum health is drastically reduced and will slowly restore itself until this ability is available again. So, Husk Boy, what you doing today? As we can see, as we're about to die, one more hit, and burn. We have invisibility, speed, form, regeneration X. Now we can run away like mad, but we now only have 1 single heart of health. Now emergency exit will now be unavailable until you have a full health bar again, which we'll pretty much see how long this takes to recharge over the time of this review section. Sword statue. You're only 1 block tall, but have 3 less hearts than a human as a trade-off. Yeah, so you're now pretty small. The distortion is hilarious. I can't see. But yeah, you're 1 block tall, which is pretty neat. This is actually a coding change that I got someone to do for the custom axolotl version I used in a survival world back in 2021, because I felt like it wasn't quite right that this origin was still tall. Now you can see he's now a little short man, and you have 8 hearts instead of the usual. It's 8. It's 2 or 3. You have 7 hearts instead of the usual 10, which means that you have to wait till your 7 hearts are restored before you can use emergency exit again. Cave Dweller. Having evolved in the lush caves, you are adapted to underground life, but not so much for the surface. Your eyes included, making you see worse in bright light, but also being able to see better in the dark. You can also move faster and exhaust slower in pitch darkness, and are unable to sleep in overly bright light. Oh, that's an interesting ability that's been changed. So yeah, if we go to creative mode and go back on land, you can already see the effects. Like, you've got the pixelation filter, the blurriness filter, which... Oh, you cannot turn this one off. That's cool. That's good. So yeah, your vision is a little bit wacky. If we go to time... The axolotl timer is an entire 30 minutes. Yeah, it's a really, really long cooldown. If we go time, set... night time, and then we go to creative mode to grab ourselves a bed. If we, let's say, grab a torch, if we have our bed and then a torch next to the bed, oh my god, yeah, okay, and you can't sleep. So if you knock out the torch, then you can sleep. That's pretty cool. Oh yeah, so if we jump around while we're in darkness, your hunger is pretty slow to move. It's still pretty regular speed almost. Time, set, day. Oh, there's the second heart coming. We now should consume our hunger a little quicker, theoretically. Yeah, there, it's dropped there. Yep, bar gone. Then another bit. No, not yet. There's it there. Okay, it's not massively different. Aqua Infinity. You may break blocks underwater as others do on land. I mean, we all know this ability by now. It just lets you do this. Break at normal speeds, not hindered by water. Actually, what about floating? No, you're not hindered by floating either. Nice. Charm Dance. You can make nearby entities swoon over you by letting out an enchanting dance, or looking so cute that it lowers others' defense and increases yours. Spam Sneak to dance. Wait, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's hilarious. The drown wants some food and saw a Crystalotl. That's hilarious. I love that. There it is. There's Sticky Keys. This is so dumb. Water dependencies. Your skin loses moisture over time. Running low on moisture causes you to walk slower, take more damage, and lose more hunger. Certain actions or environments will cause you to gain or lose more moisture. When you have completely run out of moisture, you'll begin to die. This is what I mean by the axolotl takes what the Merling has, but makes slight adjustments and make it so that you're more survivable on land. Basically, this blue bar that's above your hunger bar is your moisture meter. The longer you're outside of land, it will slowly decrease. But if we, let's say, go to some form of desert biome, give it like 5 minutes to find one, there it is. We go over to a desert biome, watch me be in the world, yep, there it is. As you can see, the moisture bar is now decreasing at a faster rate than what it was before. You can avoid this issue by water bucket. As you can see, whilst you're in water, it increases your moisture or slowly pauses it. The moment you leave the moisture, it starts to decrease again. This is what you have instead of drowning in the air. You just have a moisture bar that will slowly decrease or change based upon the last time you were in water and how long you have been out of water. This means you can make trips to the end dimension and stuff like that for a good period of time, but you've just got to be very aware of your lacked ability of, well, not being outside of water for long. Relief. You know how it feels really good to step into a fully air-conditioned room when it's scorching outside? You, as an axolotl, moistened when dry is basically like that, meaning that you swim faster and see better underwater when your moisture is below max. That's an also very interesting trade-off. Isn't there an ocean here somewhere? There it is. So if we come over here, as you can see, our moisture is below max. We go underneath here, you now swim at a faster speed, and as you can see, your vision is pretty much improved. But as your motion bar gets back to max, you will lose these effects and you won't be able to see too well underwater, and your speed will be back to normal. Because it's an origin that encourages you to be in the water for periods of time, but at the same time, you don't want to be always in the water. As you can see, now we've got a full moisture bar, our vision is gone, and our swimming speed is back to normal. So you're ultimately encouraged to spend a decent amount of time outside of water so your moisture bar can decrease. But at the same time, it's a balancing act, because as your moisture bar decreases, you're more vulnerable to attacks and your hunger decreases at a faster rate. So it's a very interesting, like, mixed effect that you've got to be more aware of how you play. And then carnivore. Your diet is restricted to meat and you cannot eat vegetables. This is self-explanatory, it's the normal. You can only eat meat. Golden apples and all other vegetable types are gone, except for cake. You can still eat cake, because of course you can eat cake. The Shriekling origin. This is an origin created by the user known as Milky Way in the Discord server. Yeah, Milky Way. This is a 3-impact origin. Rare beings that are known as Warden minions. Shrieklings are ancient species that harness the Warden's power and only known from rumors and myths. Your first ability is Ancient City. The Ancient City is where your home. You naturally spawn there. Now we do the fun part. Die. Break the bed. And die again. And here we are. We are now in an ancient city, boys. How's it feel to be back in the home of the Warden? So you don't activate things. So yeah, you spawn in the ancient city by default with this origin. Pretty cool. Rage. Press G to call upon your Warden's instincts, boosting your strength and speed in a frenzied rage. Wait, what? Oh, you get... Whoa! Whoa, we... Speed 3, Strength 3, and it's gone. Okay, so you have Haste 3, Regeneration, and Night Vision by default. So wait for that to cool down, and then we press the ability again, and we figure out what exactly you just got given. We press it, and now you get Speed 3, Strength 3, Glowing 2, Resistance 3. So you're tanky, you do a lot more damage, and you have a lot of speed, but at the same time you also now glow, which means that, well, you're a bit easier to spot if you're hiding. Yeah, it's like 15 seconds you get it. It's very, very short. It's like really good for a burst of things. Sonic Blast. Send out a Sonic Blast which passes through walls and deals a fair amount of damage. Hitting a mob will make them glow for a while and give you a temporary speed boost. Active ability with Fly. So we got the husk there. Went boing. Oh, that's cool. And was that speed 4 you get for a brief period of time? Yeah, it's speed 4 you get. I need to see. Does this? How much damage does this deal? If we press it again, does 8 damage to it. That's fun. Imagine an AoE version of that. Damn, we'd be running for the heals. I mean, wait for it. Wait for it. Oh, that only hits 1. Okay, so it looks like we'll only actually hit 1 mob by the looks of it. I'll have to try again. If I just put him in a hole and then bonk. Yeah, it only hits 1. Yeah, it still only hits 1 mob, which is, I'd say it's pretty good it does that, because that would probably be pretty bad if it could hit if it was an AoE attack. Specialize. You can mine blocks faster when underground. Oh yeah, you got Haste 3. You just got Haste 3 permanently. Which is pretty useful to say the least. Like, that's pretty powerful on the ground. Because I mean, you only really have a need for haste when you're underground, except for the instances when you're trying to dig a hole that has a surface light. That's interesting. Echolocate. Your main methods of sensing threats is by focusing and sneaking, listening out for signs of danger. Oh, if you sneak, all mobs in a pretty close vicinity to you will glow, which is pretty powerful. Gives you pretty good vision of a lot of things around you. Very useful. Gentle hands. You've mastered the ways of handling skulk objects, allowing you to mine skulk sensors and skulk blocks when sneaking as if you had silk touch. Okay, so I go down here. Oh yeah. You can just silk touch. That's cool. Food. You can't eat food. Good thing you don't need to. Oh yeah, you don't eat food. Yeah, because that's not burning your hunger at all. Lifesteal. You don't naturally regenerate health, so one way to receive it is by killing mobs and stealing theirs. Yeah, you just have permanent regen when you're on the ground. Oh yeah, you get some health back whenever you kill a mob. Friends, your wounds will also get healed whenever you're standing near skulk sensors. That's why I have the regeneration effect. If I go up away from skulk sensors, go up. One. Yeah, if you just go up high enough. It's a pretty big distance. Skulk body. Your body is composed of skulk, making it a lot more easy to get damage. Meaning you just have 8 hearts. That's all that means. You have 8 hearts instead of the usual 10. You've been a smooth brain mate. Hey, that's why you guys watch me, because I'm an idiot trying to showcase complicated things. Oh, cave vision. Due to being so used to dark caves, you have permanent night vision and are immune to the darkness effect. Yeah, you can see the permanent effect. And if we try to give ourselves the darkness effect for 50 seconds of 1, it literally does nothing. Like, the effect has not hurt us in any way, shape, or form. Day weakness. The bright rays of the sun make you feel weak. So if we go up to the surface real quick. Day. Maybe it just means you're more vulnerable to damage when you're up here, like the other Origin did earlier. Either way, it doesn't seem to do too much aside from get rid of all your abilities. Oh, there it is. There's a weakness effect that literally just kicked in as I did that. That took so long, but there it is. There's the ability there. You can see it in the corner. It affected me. That's hilarious. Anyway, back now underground. We've got our night vision back. Sleepless. Shrinkings can't sleep. You wish you could. Does that also mean you can't use beds to set a respawn? That's the more interesting one. I wish I could sleep like everyone else. That probably won't do anything with your spawn, will it? Because time set midnight. Yeah, you can't set your spawn here either, which is pretty interesting. Unwieldy! Oh, the way your hands are formed provide no way of holding a shield upright. I mean, you just can't use a shield. I don't need to really take the time to explain that one, to be honest. Familiar. The warden is your guardian, therefore it will not attack you. Also, skulk sensors will not detect vibrations from you. That is correct. Until you walk on top of them. If you walk on top of them, then they'll sense you. So let's just... That's another one. We won't summon a warden yet. Not yet. And mini warden. You're a block and a half tall. So yeah, you're a little bit shorter? I don't know. That one should be the one to summon him. There he is. Hey, buddy old pal, buddy old pal, buddy old pal. How you going, buddy old pal, buddy old pal, buddy old pal? How you going? How's your day? Yeah, he just won't hit you. That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. This is literally the perfect origin if you want to live in the ancient cities. Because the warden don't care. He just exists. He's chill. Warden likes you. Warden's your friend. Friend, not foe. Bye, buddy. Next, we have the Mosskin origin from Blue Clone. This is the 2-impact origin. Descendants of the species of moss evolved over thousands of years. First ability is camouflage. Toggle with your primary ability, you turn to a moss block. Mobs won't detect you, but you can still take damage. Movement speed is greatly reduced, and you cannot break or interact with blocks or items. So, press G. You become moss. You can slightly move. You move like a little bit like a moss. But if we, let's say, grab... Why am I getting phase into the block a little bit? That totally doesn't look weird at all. Not at all. Okay, I should probably just get out of there. So if let's say get ourselves a husk over here. Go to G to... Go to survival mode. Press G. You can't see me. I am invisible to the husk. The husk doesn't know I exist. I'm just gonna roam. Just gonna roam, do my thing. Hey yo, it's a husk over here. What are you doing? Bump, bump. Hi boy. Bye. He hit me once and then I disappeared from his existence. That's hilarious. Anyway, next you got moss spread. You can turn certain blocks at your feet into moss, spreading it around you. This costs hunger and will not activate at 6 hunger points, 3 shanks or less. This is your secondary ability. I should really be more aware that there's 2 husks floating about me, but if you press Y here, it doesn't affect any of these type of blocks. Oh no, there it is. I see a moss there. Probably just gotta... Yes, it does directly the block that you're standing on top of. What if we go over here? I'm assuming this will work for any block that can be infected by moss. Just by right clicking. Doesn't work when you're standing in tall grass. Wonk. I see what you mean. Because that'll actually do a lot instead of 1 block. And then we press Y. That didn't seem to consume much hunger. This is interesting. Because it also creates some long grass as well when it does that effect. Dampened, you're empowered when wet, dealing more damage to mobs. So a husk, Alt 10, dead. If we, let's say, get some water over us. You know, maybe I shouldn't be critting. So, 8, 9, 3. Without water. 6, 7, 7. So you have about an increased damage of 2. About 2 points in water with a diamond sword. If we, let's say, downgrade our sword to something a little more less potent, I should really organize my inventory so much better. Lordy lord. So without water, it's a 5, 6, 6 dead. With water, 7, 8, 5. That's a long reach, by the way. So yeah, it's about a handful of points of increased damage. It's about 2, 3, 4. It's not massive amounts, but it's enough that it will probably make the difference between whether you kill in a fewer amount of hits, especially with lower end swords. Wet equals rain too. Hint, hint. That's just mean. So this ability also seems to affect you when it's raining, meaning that if it's raining, it's the perfect time to go out on a hunt. See this creeper here? He had no idea what was coming. He died. Photosynthesis, you gain saturation from direct sunlight. That would probably be why the ability from before wasn't draining hunger, because I was in direct sunlight. So if we get out of direct sunlight, let's say we move down to here, then press that button, that still hasn't touched our saturation too much. Bonk. It's so dark in here. So yeah, for now, because we're still in the sun, our saturation doesn't seem to be really doing much for the decretion. Actually, I think a really good way to get it to quickly decrease is by bonk. Yeah, saturation's still pretty much at full. Did that? Seriously? I pick up one random egg, immediately throw it, and it spawns a chicken. Hilarious. That's just convenience. I don't know why, but it did. Might have to nerf it. It's entirely possible. Because it doesn't seem to break even though it's nighttime. One with foliage. You can travel freely through moss and leaves. I mean, we've been watching me do that now as I'm trying to get saturation. You see these leaves here? You see this tree here? This husk is following me? That's fine. I failed. Ignore that. We try again. And look at that. When they're up high, the husk can't touch us. Can't get us. Ha. Suck it. I am up here. You are not. We are not the same. Hey, creeper. Run away. Run away. I'm being followed at this point. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Aha! You can't touch me. Whoop. Whoop. Hi. Boy. Can't get me. Oh, just go off. You rude. Yes! One went off. Let's go. I'm just playing with fire right now doing this. But yeah, you can phase throughout any form of leaves. And if we move over here, I can disappear into the ground. Disappear for... Oh my god, it finally broke through the saturation layer. And oh my god, that did take a bit of saturation. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Run! Run away! Run away! Run away! Sink. When landing on moss, you sink into it, allowing you to not take 4 damage from moss. Hey zombie, bye zombie. So if we get ourselves some moss over here, and we make ourselves a landing pad, right? And I just go up. We literally just go up. We go up, and then whoop, we fall back. We take no damage. But if we do the same thing, we go over here. Whoop, damage. So you could potentially do something like that. Clutch with moss. Another thing that I think we could possibly do, I think this is a dangerous game I'm playing, but no. You can't use your secondary ability to try and block your fall because it doesn't go off until you hit the ground. So you can clutch with a moss block because it really is just that simple. Whoop. And you can place it before you hit the ground in most cases if you're smart enough to avoid your fall damage altogether. Flammable, you take twice as much damage from fire. I mean, what else do you expect? Your foliage, effectively. Your green foliage that burns. Like, I mean, if we just simply light moss on fire, it's gonna spread? Yep, there it is, it's starting to spread. So, logically speaking, if you're a bit of moss, and this is what fire does to normal moss, logically, fire gonna hurt. Fire gonna hurt, a lot of hurt. Wow, I died. Shame. And fragile, you have less hearts than normal. So yeah, you have 5 hearts instead of 10, which is pretty massive. I mean, yeah, logically, if you are poorly doing, you get no chance to think about that. If you touch lava, it's like boom, dead. Yeah, literally tapped lava, it's dead. I want to try it one last time. And whoop, 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 and bonk, donk, dead. Yeah, you touch lava, you don't survive. Unless you have a water bucket on you, you literally won't survive on that. So there are some little side notes that I've picked up on that aren't in the actual Origins description itself. So first off, you're clearly about a block tall. We go over to the side here. You're just barely less than a block tall, meaning you can crash down and get underneath some pretty small gaps. Secondly, you got a bit of a green haze to your character now, which doesn't really do anything, but hey, it's nice to know. And then another thing, the creators put it in chat here saying you can't eat most foods. You look through here, So you don't have access to most foods. Golden apples are an exception, but we keep going through. Pretty much everything is inedible. The only things that aren't inedible are golden apples, and then because who takes away anyone's ability to eat cake? If we go over here, we can still eat cake, because this is where we have 1,000,000 cakes from earlier. Is the bee origin. This one is created by the user known as Drizzo. He decided that there's been a lot of bee origins, but he don't find them any fun or unique, so he made a more unique one, which is both fun and solo and with friends. This is a 2-impact origin. The bee race cannot jump, but they can flap their wings slowly and can be seen gathering dollops of honey from puny flowers. There's also advancements to this one. Lots of noises. And a little cool thing, there's a little addition that you can do with this one. You can also get a resource pack for this origin, which if you pick the data pack that also allows the use of the resource pack, as you can see in my hotbar, you've got a different color hearts of more orange, you've got a honey experience point bar, and you've also got honey pots for your hunger, which is pretty neat. Moving into the actual abilities, we got Flutter. You have no need to jump and flutter your little wings instead. You hold space to flutter. You can toggle the flutter on and off by pressing your secondary key. So, as you can see, it's only holding it does not do much, so what? Hold spacebar, yeah. So you hold it, it just keeps you jumping, press Y, and then you can fly. But keep in mind, if you're not holding your spacebar, you'll fall back down. If you are holding your spacebar, you can allow to fly. This gets rid of your jump almost entirely, because instead you have, when you have the ability off, instead you have a slow jump that has a lot of slow fall with it. So this kind of makes these jumps a little useless. It's basically like a very mini flutter, if you will. So we toggle the ability back on again, which you can tell the ability's on by the wings that are above your hunger bar. You press Y, you see the wings there now. If you press Y again, the wings should go away. So that's how you can tell what mode you're in. It has a bit of a cooldown for all I can tell there, but now we put it on, we can now flutter. We slowly rise into the air. It's nowhere near as fast as creative mode flight, and this is in creative mode flight because it's effectively giving you levitation too, whilst you're holding the spacebar key. And the moment you let go, it disappears and you start floating back down to Earth, which is pretty interesting to say the least. Pollinator. Using your primary while on a small flower will give a random status effect depending on the flower. Each flower gives something different. This is an active ability, used with primary key. Currently I've given no information on what the effects of the flowers each give. If you want to know, DM me in Discord and I'll let you know. Let's go through some flowers and see what we get given. Also, we've got a glass bottle, which is pretty neat. With a dandelion, press primary ability on there, you get saturation, I believe that was a brief moment of saturation boost. Then if we go back into it, next we have the poppy. The poppy gives you night vision 2 for 30 seconds, which is pretty interesting. The blue orchid, press the ability, we get given luck 2 for 60 seconds. Next we have the alum, which if we just go through here, next we have the alum, which will give you fire resistance for 15 seconds. Then we have the azure bluette, which will give us blindness for 15 seconds. We move on to tulips, or the tulips will give you weakness 2 for about 20 seconds. Interesting. Move on to the oxeye daisy, will give you regeneration 2 for 20 seconds. The cornflower will give you invisibility 2 for 15 seconds. Wow. The lily of the valley will give you poison 2 for 10 seconds. The wither rose will give you wither for 5 seconds. I mean, that one should be self-explanatory. So yeah, only the small flowers will effectively do something for this ability, which is pretty neat overall. Honey extractor. If you right click any small flower type with a glass bottle in hand, you can fill it up with honey. So if we clear out our inventory, we get ourselves a bunch of glass bottles. Are they in here? Yes, they are. Get ourselves a bunch of glass bottles, we go back to normal mode, right click on a flower, you get honey from there. And as you can see, you get a bit of a cooldown there, and then you can do more honey milking. Poison Sting. Your punches are packed with 5 seconds of poison inflicted onto any enemies except for the undead and both spider types. This will have a 15-second cooldown and take away 1 heart of health each time you use it. So surprised if we get honey from Wither Rose. The more you grow, extract honey from a dead flower? That's hilarious. I love the advancement. Oh, what? You got a Wither Rose? Let's just get some honey from it. There's none. How does that work? It doesn't. Unfortunately, this time, we can't rely on the age-old husk. It's a damn shame. We gotta find something different. A cow. Hi, cow. How you doing? Boop. He also walked into the wither effect. And then now, the cow is a 1-punch. If we come back over here, we get ourselves a new cow. Look at him with his 10 health. Man, big boy just looks at me. Look how you going, buddy. Boop. Oh, that dealt damage. I felt like that hurt me there when I hit him. That's interesting. And now, boom. That's actually funny as hell. Air affinity. You may break blocks in the air as others do on land. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you're floating, you can break blocks normally, which is pretty handy because a lot of origins with flight tend to forget this little thing, which makes breaking blocks whilst floating a lot more annoying. But you can do that pretty normally here. Good God. Thank you. Be small. Your hitbox and height have been modified to make you slightly taller than a block and the same height as a block if shifting. So if we go into third person point here, as you can see, you're just barely taller than a block, meaning that without crouching, you cannot fit underneath a block. But if you crouch, you can then crawl underneath. Nectarivore. You're a nectarivore, which means you can only eat honey. In addition to this, honey bottles will give you 4 shanks of hunger and 2 shanks of saturation. Basically a little bit of a buff to honey because it's all you can eat, so where is he? There he is. Buddy old pal, buddy old pal, buddy old pal. Do you mind? Thank you, appreciate it. Wasn't enough, bro. Do it again. Oh, and again. Oh, and again. Thank you. Appreciate it. That should knock my saturation down, hopefully. Can you still eat cake? We'll find out soon. I want to get my honey down a little bit so I can actually show you. Also, I like the resource pack. So what it does with the honey shanks is it takes away the honey from inside of the bottle and then the bottle disappears second. That's pretty neat, I dare say. Eat a cake. Cool, we can still eat cake, because of course you can. But yeah, honey bottles. Now do something useful. Look at it go. Look at that, increase my hunger. Look at it go. Beautiful. Hydrophobia. When in contact with rain or water, you will receive slowness and weakness along with the loss of flight. So, unlike most hydrophobias, this won't kill you, because instead, its aim is to make you weaker. Not only is your flight fully disabled when you are in rain, but you also have weakness 2 and slowness 2 as a permanent debuff. Which pretty much makes it you don't want to be in rain for too long. Rain gonna hurt, rain gonna be sad, it's gonna cause you all sorts of problems until it goes away. Bye bye rain. And then we can fly again. Look at that go. Fly high. Upon the effect of slowness, you will lose your ability to fly. Wait. So if we just fly up here, just a little bit, I should probably, slowness. So slowness for 30 seconds, you can still fly. Huh? Am I dumb? Upon the effect of slowness, you will lose your ability to fly. I seem to still be flying. Bezkill. Bees are much weaker than humans, and the majority of other animals. This will give you 2 less hearts. So yeah, you have 8 hearts instead of the usual 10. Not really going to make a major difference. Not the end of the world. It's not an Origin data pack without a few bugs. It really is at this point. And he's gonna have issues, and it is what it is. We don't argue with it. The Hellish Chevalier, created by the Discord user known as Soki. This is a 3-impact origin. You are a fallen and sinful knight. You came back to this mortal realm as a lost soul, and decided to possess a nearby knight to restore your past status. You took on his regular human form and transferred some of your abilities as a lost soul that are now even further refined in flesh. So, your first ability is Amplified Knight's Lunge. You can propel yourself forwards using the heat emitted onto your body. When concentrated into a small area, it allows you to launch in any direction. This has a cooldown of 5 seconds, applies a small amount of velocity in the direction that you face. This is, of course, your primary ability. So, go into survival mode here. We'll ignore the other changes to your hotbar because that's a later thing. We'll acknowledge it later, okay? Cool beans. So we come over here, we press the G button, and boom! Oh! That was a lot! That was a lot faster than I expected. Okay, we go to third person. Oh, we got some lovely effects. Voing! What if we don't do anything? It slightly propels us forward. So if we're sprinting, that's... spoilers. Go back here a little bit, go back to survival, and then we sprint, bonk. Okay, so the amount of momentum you carry with this jump depends on how you enter it. If you jump into it, you get a massive amount of momentum for it. If you're simply sprinting into it, you'll just get a little bit of momentum. Actually, that's a lot because of how I looked at it. If you just sprint normally and then jump, you get a little bit of momentum. If you're not moving and then use it, you'll get a little... Oh no, it's not about the amount of momentum you bring into it. I'm an idiot. It's about how you look. You look straight on. You get a small burst in that straight direction. If you look up, you'll get a nice fling into the air, which will have a lot more momentum with it. See? Fling. And if you jump into it, you get a massive amount of momentum. Did I see? I perfectly landed the little bit of water there. That's hilarious. That's so funny. Oh god. So you jump into it, you get a huge amount of momentum. Again, this depends how you do it. If you look, I pressed it first. Seems we got hydrophobia. It does seem that way. If we jump by looking down, it will, like, basically the amount of momentum you get out of this ability will depend on where you're facing. And as well as if you jump into it or not, because you get more additional momentum because funky. Boing. Hard. So yeah, you can get some pretty good jumps out of this. Like what? What? I'm going to do something ballsy. Is this a bad idea? After seeing how this origin works. Yes, it is. Just casually jumps over. No problem, no problem. Flame Aura. Your body temperature is so hot, you literally incinerate impurities in the air around you, creating a blue flame particle effect. I love the description of that. That's hilarious. You create blue flames. Whoa. I am just going to assume that is trying to reference towards the fact that you've got 5 additional hearts on top of your normal amount of hearts. Possession perks. Your human form gives you all the regular abilities a human would. However, you are granted some extra strength as you increase the power of the mortal you possess. You are experienced in this kind of human, as they are a knight, as you once were, meaning that they are incredibly proficient in your skills as a warrior. You also receive fire immunity and a regen bonus whenever you're on fire. Basically, permanent strength 1 and regeneration 1 when on fire. That's, wowzers. See, permanent strength 1, I'm pretty sure we all know how strength works. There's not much more to explain there. But if we get ourselves a lava bucket, and we just say, where's a little pocket I can pop this without burning the entire place alive? Let's just pop right here. Bump. We walk into it. We don't get set on fire by lava. What? That's interesting. What if we get a flint and steel? No regen. Oh, I think of what's happened here. I'm going to assume that with the fire resistance, they fully disabled fire from affecting you. but because you can no longer, because that's kind of annoying for the resource to be on screen even though it doesn't affect you anymore. But in turn of that, you also don't get the regen effects because fire don't get on you. Maybe a fire aspect sword or a flame bow will probably do it, but Cindering armor. You can only wear fireproof armor. For example, Neverite. Don't worry, your natural HP boost will help you during the early game, but beware of the dangers of the overworld. So, unlike most other origins, which restricts you from the high-end armor, this origin says no to the face in the face of all of those type of abilities, and just says, you know armor? You don't get any armor until you reach Neverite. You see? What? We get one leather, then a chainmail, then some iron leggings, maybe some diamond boots. You see all these? We can put them on. I love that. That's hilarious. Pop it on. And it pops off. Pop it on. And it pops off. Oh, that's hilarious. That's brilliant. I love that. I love that. I love that way of doing it. I'm so glad. So instead of just not letting you put it on, you can put it on. It'll just fly right off of you the moment you start moving. That is brilliant. And then of course, put Neverite on, it stays on. The Neverite's the only armor we can actually wear, which is... I love that. That's hilarious. I love that ability. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Blade proficiency. Axes are not your style. You have no idea how to use them and deal negative 2.5 times damage with them. Wow. Swords, however, are within your area of expertise. Wait, how? That just mean you do no damage with an axe? Actually, I'm just gonna get a sword just so I can do some initial damage on him too, because I have a funny feeling of some. I want to test something. So get out of husk. You don't do any damage. You hit him with a sword. Okay, no, it doesn't do healing, but yeah, you just straight up don't do damage with an axe. Your damage is non-existent with an axe. Don't even try. But with a sword, you do a lot of damage. Hold on. Let's go an iron sword so we see more. So with an iron sword, 8 damage, 9 damage, dead. That's like really good. I think that's equivalent to what a diamond or a Neverite sword is usually with that amount of damage. What about if we get a stone sword? 7, 8, dead. Wooden sword? 6, 7, dead. Wow. This will make it so that it's probably going to be worthwhile making a stone and wooden sword early, because it literally gives you the ability to do a pretty decent amount of damage. It's not like literally nothing as it would be for normal Minecraft. Devilish mobility. You do not take fall damage. I mean, we watched that before when I was flinging myself like a madman in the air. We're taking no fall damage. It's not a problem you're ever going to worry about. Like what? Oh yeah? We got this height? Yeah, bonk. No damage. We're fine. No problem. Nothing wrong there. Everything's hunky-dory. Arrow weakness. Arrows are easily able to pierce your fleshy, limp, mortal body. They deal substantial damage and leave you extremely weak. You take 2.5 times projectile damage. That's a lot of damage. Get him out. Whoop. Go to survival. Let him... Wow. Wowzers. Whoa. Yo, that's rude, my friend. Wow, wowie, wowie. You can just... Even with your 5 extra hearts, a skeleton can pretty much 2-shot you. I'm at half a heart from 2 shots from the Skelly boy. Hey, buddy. Droplet weakness. During rainfall, you cannot regenerate as your body is still affected by the small amount of water dripping down on your scorching body. Oh, okay. So you have hydrophobia to normal water, but when it's rain, you just have no natural regen. Your regen's just gone. You can't regenerate health when it's raining. That's actually pretty neat, to be honest. It still has the normal hydrophobia for normal water, but you can't. But when it comes to rain, it won't just kill you. You just can't regen in it, which is pretty dangerous to say the least, because you can't regen when you're in the rain. which could prove to be very problematic. So yeah, be aware of that one. Soul Beam! Produce a beam of soul fire and lost souls you slaughtered during your time spent dead. Well, even more dead than you were now. Than you are now, that was. Cooldown. Long cooldown. Explodes on impact. Does 5 damage, 2.5 hearts. If you miss, it will deal damage to the caster, which acts as a consequence for overusage. Whoa! So what? I must have hit something. But yeah, if we miss, we take some damage. Okay, so it's using the sprites of the Warden's ability, which is, oh god, it's a skeleton over there. We don't want that. And wonk. That doesn't deal an amazing amount of damage. That's right. It did say it only didn't do much damage. So it's an interesting ability. It's not that long of a cooldown for the damage. I don't know if you'd use this ability too often. It's definitely handy to have. But it's effectively the same as you punching with your strength boost, so Explosion when not in contact with an entity is substantially larger than when an entity is hit. So another little quirk to this ability is that if you miss an entity, if you hit just the ground without hitting an entity, the explosion will be far larger, causing a little more damage. But in turn, you take damage as well. Though, maybe it's useful when it comes to hitting mobs around that you slightly miss if the explosion hits the mobs and you don't take damage. I don't know, it's a very weird ability. It's there, I don't know how useful it is, considering how everything else this Origin is really good. And then Hydrophobia. You take lots of damage from water over time, but rain doesn't affect you. 2 hearts per second of water exposure, but rain is not enough to damage you. It broke our block. You go into water, water hurts. Hydrophobia in a nutshell. 2 hearts per tick. Wowzers. Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. We've got the Magical Manipulator, created by the user known as Matt E. This is a 3-impact Origin. These folks specialize in magics that utilize various types of elements, some of which you can find from the creatures and environments around you, whilst others you create for yourself. Magic Wielder. You can wield various types of magical attacks. You can cycle through your main abilities by using your secondary, and it will cycle in the opposite direction when you sneak, or by pressing your sprint key if you're riding something. You can use fire. You can use the use/fire, your selected ability via your primary ability. Each ability uses up a specific ammo type. You can convert certain items into ability animation by right-clicking when holding the item in your main hand. The few ultimate spells you have access to must be selected by converting their ammo item via right-clicking in the main hand. You cannot cancel the usage of these spells once they are selected, and you cannot activate anything from your main arsenal until the ultimate spell is finished. Sneaking will prevent you from converting an item to ammo, allowing you to use the item's vanilla functionality. Your selected ability and how much ammo you have left should be shown above your hotbar as an action bar title. You permanently lose half the ammo on death if keep inventory equals false. Becoming fluent in an ability swapping is essential for your survival in combat. All of your abilities and their details should be viewable as if they were in a different Origin layer. Ultimate spells also have shiny icons. So this Origin is almost predominantly focused on that thing itself. You have an ability that you can... Sorry, give me a moment to just think about that one. Basically, you have a weapon arsenal. That just explained how all of it worked. If you need to recap of that, then yeah. So, okay. Press Y. Spectral energy. Dirt enclosure. Resistance buff. Energy shield. Golems. Essence grenade. Propulsions. And anti-gravity arrows. That's a few different abilities. And I'm assuming they all get explained here, I hope. Oh, okay. So if we go through our Origin layers, we've got the anti-grav arrow. 1 arrow equals 2 ammos. Exactly what it sounds like. An arrow that does not fall to gravity. Can be fired every second and will kill basic 20 health mobs, zombies, skeletons, etc. in 3 hits. Cannot be fired when actively raising a shield and will despawn itself after 30 seconds of existence to prevent yourself from coming across random floating arrows that you shot in the past. Oh, and there's also a strategy. I'm not going to read the strategy. That's more important for the people actually trying to do survival with this. So if we get ourselves an arrow, right click, we get 2 anti-gravity arrows. If we use we step back a little bit, primary ability, bonk. Sheep over there, bonk. Sheep just down there in the distance, bonk. Cow in the distance over there, bonk. That cow, bonk. That's actually really cool. So with this ability, with the use of right-clicking arrows into your ammo pool, you can shoot them without any gravity. Of course, you do not have any special enchants for these arrows. They're basic arrows that do a lot of damage in comparison to normal things, but that's all they're good for. They're pretty much straight and narrow. They will never fall to gravity, which means you can be a lot more accurate with them, because you can simply just point in a direction and it will just go in that direction. See that sheep over there? If I can point it, there we are, and you smack it. That sheep over there through the grass, bonk. That sheep there, I ran out of arrows. That sheep there, bonk. Pretty neat ability, actually. Next is your Spectral Shot. This will take 1 glowstone dust. Canonically, it is a projectile of pure energy, but is technically just a spectral arrow. Spectral shots will pierce 3 times, damage 4 enemies in total, and set them on fire. Unlike the anti-gravity arrow, this does not have the shield limitation, nor does it ignore gravity. This will pierce Essen grenades and not wardens or ender dragons. Keep in mind, it won't pierce wardens or ender dragons. One spectral shot only has the energy to activate 1 essence grenade, it will always pierce. Particles are for visual effect only. So now with this one, I want to get myself some glowstone dust, and I want to set up a little bit of a training thing. So we get a little fence over here, we come down here to our little open flat area, we just are going to fence in a couple of people. So now we're in a spectral energy, 1 glowstone dust equals 1 spectral energy. Then we use that ability. Oh, that's cool. I love those effects. Let's see how we do it again. Voink. 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 That is really interesting. What if we just put a bunch of zombies in there, and we just get ourselves a bunch of spectral energy, and then we just start rapid firing in there. This is just deadly. That is pretty powerful. Dirt enclosure, 33 dirt. Dirt enclosure is a physical structure that forms around your character and below your feet. It is a 3x3 dirt floor and 2x3 walls excluding corners. This will not overwrite and replace existing blocks other than stuff like grass. So if we go up into the air with this one. Oh. We'll literally use it to go boom. What if we go into survival mode here? So we go to survival mode here. We take a leap of faith. Bonk. That's really cool. Just a bit of a dirt enclosure. It blocks off anyone's ability to access you because it's a 2x2. Whoa, so we jump again. Hey zombie, bye. Oh no, oh no, oh no, he's in here, he's in here, he's in here. Nope, 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 nope. That's a pretty interesting ability. Resistance buff. This requires 1 shield. This applies resistance 1 for 50 seconds. What else is there to say? Well, actually, the strategy. Oh my god. Yeah, so one thing I'll just give some massive credit to the creator. They went through the effort to give you like a full-on way to utilize these abilities together with a good strategy effect down here, which is pretty cool. Get ourselves some shields. We go to our resistance buff. We right-click the shield in there, and now we got some resistance buff. So we go over here. We press G. We got resistance for 50 seconds. I am stuck against a wall. And now we run. That's a creeper. That's even worse. Yeah, it's resistance for about 50 seconds. I mean, cool beans. It is just one of those type of abilities. Pretty self-explanatory in the cover. Energy Shield. This requires 6 gold ingots. Applies Absorption 3 for 25 seconds. 2 hearts less than an enchanted golden apple. This is more of an emergency defense option to save your life in critical situations. It's an effect that only lasts 25 seconds and is significantly more expensive than a resistance buff. Okay, so we go over here, we grab ourselves gold, we go to the energy shield, bonk, 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 jump down. So basically, oh no, I'm about to die, pop, bye. That's pretty interesting. I mean, there's not much more to that one, it just gives you a nice little buff. It's a bit of an emergency situation ability, like he said. Golem Reinforcement requires 1 iron block. Summons an iron golem on top of you to aid you in battle. These are special golems that will not only stay loyal like physically built golems, but they also deal a little more damage than a normal golem. Any mob killed by a reinforcement golem will also have looting 2 applied to their drops. So if we go down here, again, with our friendly husk over there. Hey boy, how you doing? Poof! Hey yo, how you doing, buddy? Oh no, help me, golem! I'm being attacked! Oh no! Oh, he's dead. Oh no, golem! Help me! Oh, he's dead. That's way less expensive than a built golem. Yeah, it is way less expensive. It also does stupid damage. What is this? That's interesting. I don't know whether they consider this. This is definitely very powerful because it literally gives you the ability to summon a golem like that, and it's also cheaper than the average built golem. It also has looting too on its kills, which is a little bit powerful. I don't know. That's interesting, that one. Essence Grenade, 1 redstone dust, creates a somewhat large floating Nether star that moves forward at a slow velocity. Usage, shooting an Essence Grenade with either an anti-gravity arrow or a spectral shot will cause the nearest 4 mobs within a 10 block radius to be launched vertically into the air via strong levitation for a brief amount of time. Can be shot/used twice before it breaks and disappears. Spectral shots will completely pierce Essence Grenades as they will activate them. If the grenade comes in physical contact with another mob or a block, it will break instantly without applying levitation to anything. And then you just do... Oh. That's cool. And it sits there. So if we cycle around again... to the arrows, get some more arrows in us, and we just hit it. Boom. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty neat ability. That does require you to actually combo it with your other abilities in order to set it off, but that's pretty neat. Sonic Propulsion, 1 Skulk Block or 1 Glow Lytron. Movement ability that launches you in the direction that you're facing once the sonic boom particles explode, quote unquote. Its power is comparable to a trident enchanted with Riptide 2. Cannot be used while actively in elytra flight or when submerged in water. They make vibrations on launch unless you're sneaking, and the direction of the sonic boom vibrations when you use the propulsion ability will not direct where you go. The actual boom sound marks propel marks where you get propelled in the direction that you are looking at in that moment. Oh! So, boom, zonk. So we do that. Oh. Ow. I get it. It's like most other abilities that let you launch yourself. Just this time around, it has a degree of predictability. So, you point in a direction, you press the ability, you see some effects go off so you can see the direction it's going to propel you. Meaning that you can use it and fling yourself. That's fair. Look in a direction, press it, and whomp. You can't use it with an elytra to delivery, man. This will specifically not work whilst you're in an elytra. Though, what you can do is you propel yourself up and then use the elytra. You just can't use it once you're in the air. So it definitely has its use for elytra. It's more you want to use it to get in the air in the first place. So now we go through the legendary abilities. Supreme Spectacle, one Crying Obsidian. Fires a barrage of high damage lasers for a specific period of time. You can only fire the lasers after the activation delay and they are fired automatically. Each laser deals 14 damage on hit, which will pierce through any resistance effects or protection enchantments. It also applies slowness 1 and glowing for 12 seconds to the target. What? With that, boom. Commencing. Oh, this has got a long cooldown. Laser beam goes. Brrrr. That's a cool ability. I like that. I like that a lot. Then your other legendary ability is the Pinnacle Manipulation. This requires one Echo Shard. This ability will first levitate you into the air slowly and cause a number of audio and particle signals. After the activation phase is complete, 3 raycast lasers are then unleashed in the direction that you are looking up to a range of 30 blocks, which will cause a high power explosion on either block or entity impact. Unlike Spectral Supreme, this ability cannot travel through water or other fluids, and thus will explode on impact as if they were solid blocks. Attempting to fire Pinnacle of Manipulation underwater may prove to be suicidal. And press bonk. Pinnacle of Manipulation is on standby, boys and girls. You ready to reach the Pinnacle of Manipulation with this orb? Yes, now time for another laser. We just wait for it to cool down, the ability to cool down so I can use it again. Come on. Commencing. Yeah, that's wowzers. Boom, one might say. That's cool. That is hilarious. It requires an eco shard. Basically, you have to play within the Warden's dimension in order to get yourself this ability, and you can only use it once for an eco shard. But that is cool. Atmospheric Siphon. You naturally siphon magic from the air around you, which naturally buffs your immune system. Basically, you have regen 1 permanently. As you can see, regeneration, which is continuously ticking up, it is basically the beacon effective of it. Agility over defense. You and your people tend to prefer to be able to move around rather than wear armors. You cannot wear anything that provides armor in the chest or leg armor slots, with the exception of Neverite leggings and Neverite leather leggings and Neverite chest plates. Why can you wear? However, your base movement speed is much higher than a normal player. That's weird, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if we get armor, do it. So this is the best armor set you can wear. I'm gonna be completely honest here to the Origin creator. I don't know if he's watching this or if he will, but I think this is probably the one ability where I just make it so that you don't have armor. Just to make it so that you are practically a glass cannon. You're not in a figurative sense because you can still survive a fair bit. But in most cases, you won't really survive too long if you do get yourself into a lot of combat. I don't know. I'd feel like this is a little bit much armor for what you can do as this Origin. I don't know, I guess it'd be up to the opinion of people watching, really. Untrained Warrior, you're not very good with physical weapons. You have permanent weakness too when using swords or axes. Which should mean... So, 1 damage with an iron axe, no damage with diamond swords. Okay, so you pretty much can't use physical weapons. They effectively don't work for you. That's fair. Limited stamina. You are passively agile because of the raw energy coursing through your body, not because of your physical fitness. So yeah, because of the energy, you've got this blue bar that allows you to move at a pretty fast speed. But this blue bar is a signal of how much you can run. The moment this bar runs out, you won't be able to run anymore and you'll be given slowness 2, slowness 3 for a few seconds. And this will continue to go because the bar won't go back to full. It has to slowly recharge when you're not moving, which is, I would say, is pretty major when it comes to your movement. It does massively knock your movement out of existence. Oh, it keeps going. You have a stamina bar that gets used up when you sprint. If you run out of stamina, your movement speed will decrease that of a normal player with slowness 3. Stamina will passively regenerate when you're not sprinting or off the ground. Killing anything with at least 15 maximum HP will allow you to convert some of its life energy into a stamina, and eating a golden apple will restore 85% of your stamina. The next Origin is the Hydra Origin, created by the user known as Xeon. I think that's what his set name is. This is a 3-impact Origin. A mythical creature famed for its regeneration and immortality. It possesses both poison and venom and can even kill a god. You have 8 extra lives that can regrow given time, or by laying waste to your enemies. In return, you are also extremely vulnerable to fire, lava, and temperature. 9-headed. You have 8 extra heads that regenerate over time. I am going to assume that is one of the 2 bars that are currently moving. Oh, it's a blue bar maybe? I don't know. I guess we'll figure this out as we go along, baby. I see 2 new... Green bar is for heads, but it takes a fairly decent amount of time to regen just by standing there. Fair enough. Blue bar is your rage. Autonomy 1. And you can regenerate from death if you have an extra head. Autonomy 2. The more heads you lose, the less max health you have. Autonomy 3. In return, you cannot use any totems of undying. Okay, so now that we're at full bar, it gives us full health again. And so let's say if we get ourselves a husk over here. Hey boy, how you doing? Bonk. Let's just let him kill him. He's fighting the regen really hard. Like, you have regen 3 when you're at max. There it is. It takes a little bit of your head health. I'm assuming each green section, each like little green section of the bar is the equivalent of a head. So when you have a full bar, you have 8 heads in total. So when you lose a head, it will knock the bar down by a little bit. Okay, you can lose another head, and then we get absorption all that again. And then another head. And then another head. And then another head. Another head, and it just keeps decreasing your health at the same time. Absorption, resistance, hunger, and strength. I should move away before they kill me. If they can get you into a low enough health range to start knocking off your heads, you'll start to see yourself losing health quickly. But you can last a little bit. Break, then break, and that's it, isn't it? One last one, and then dead. And we're only at 2 hearts at the lowest amount of health. Wow. So for 1 head, you have 2 hearts. At 2 heads, 3. Then we put up 2. Then you're at 4. Next level at 3. Then you're at 5. 4. Then you're at 6. 5. Then you're at 7. Drop. That didn't use the totem. Okay, if we set our heads to 0, and then we go up. Yep, totems just don't work. That's pretty interesting. Totems are just gone. No totem for you. Regeneration, you have a passive regenerate effect of all times. It's just regeneration 1 at most cases, which is pretty neat. Regeneration amplification. Your regeneration rate increases the lower your health becomes. So if we go up, we take a little bit of fall damage. We now have regeneration 2 at half health, so our health will jump back pretty quickly. And then it'll go back to normal regeneration once we get high enough in the hearts. If we take more damage, this shouldn't kill me. We then have regeneration 4, which will then turn to regeneration 3, which then turns to regen 2, and then goes back down to regen 1 as your health increases back up to full. Pretty neat. Poisonous body. Every inch of your body is laced with potent venom. Anything less is laughable. You're immune to the effects of all wither and poison. So what? If we command, give, is there the wither effect. Unable to apply this effect, target is either immune to effects or has something stronger. Yep. Then we go poison, and then the same thing happens. You can't take it. Simple as it is, my friend. Lethal venom. There is no toxin more devastating than that of which can kill a god. All of your attacks inflict severe wither damage. Your poison's potency decreases in hotter weather, however. Nah, let's just go Ravager. Bonk. So, in this weather here, $10 damage. Ah. That's interesting. So in hotter weather, let's say a desert, your wither effect is a lot less effective. Also, you have some other things, which we'll go over soon. Carnival hunger. You crave the blood of your enemies. The more you hurt them, the more your primal rage is sated. Being hurt greatly dissatisfies you, however. So, as we can see, we're at maximum rage, which means that we have Absorption 5, Fire Resistance, Fire Resistance, and Saturation. If we do just, get out again, let's get back to max. Bang, 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 bang. And then one more time. And now we're at max rage. So yeah, you have Absorption 5. Which, if I want to do this. Which means that you double your health bar. Fire resistance. Oh shoot, you can hit me from there. Not nice. I did not expect that. You're rude. Took away my ability. Rude. Mean. You're an arsehole. Take it. Take it, you. Okay, now we're back here. So yeah, you have double your health bar with absorption. Big boy. Get higher. You have fire resistance and a saturation boost. Pretty neat. Primal growth. Once your lust for bloodshed is sated, you regain one lost head and shed your skin for temporary fire resistance. Resource our heads down to 7, and then we get back to max. We get another head, and then we get fire resistance. Oh! Oh, okay. So, if you do not already have max heads, when you max out the blue bar by dealing damage to your enemies, it will reset the blue bar back to 0, but give you another head, as well as give you temporary fire resistance. Fair enough. Overheating. Your body is not suited for the extreme heat. You take significantly increased fire damage. You also cannot gain the effects of a fire resistance potion. Let's get ourselves a flint and steel, grab ourselves a lava bucket, and because of Ravager die, let's go back to survival here. Pop goes the weasel, holy dooly. It also doesn't pop your heads when you're in lava either. That's interesting. So what if I take... So with this, not only will fire hurt drastically, lava will practically insta-kill you, it also will not pop the autonomy ability. It will not break one of your heads to give you the ability to live for a little bit longer. Mainly because, well, what's the point in that? You'll just burn through all your revives anyway. That's interesting. So it's both punishing, but also nice at the same time. Because it does mean that you can't just save yourself if you touch lava. It will just practically insta-kill you. But it also won't destroy all your heads for touching lava. That will just be null and voided. I would say that's both a good and a bad thing with how that works. It just means that if you touch fire and die to fire, you're guaranteed to die, but you won't be punished drastically by losing your heads. Fiery Inversion. Your cells denature easily, stopping you from regeneration if you are ever set on fire without any fire resistance. And yeah, as we said before, the only way you can get fire resistance is via your rage, which you can only get the fire resistance when you max out the rage. So if we step in there, your fire regeneration's gone. So let's get out. But then, if we get ourselves a Ravager, again, put him over here, tap him. Tap him again. These Ravagers are not having a good day. They're just getting bullied. And again. And now that we're maxed out, I should probably... So now we're maxed out in rage, we can now step forth into the fire without having any of the effects affect you because you got fire resistance. Be wary though, you take damage at any time and the fire resistance goes, you no longer have your regen, and now you're just slowly dying to fire. Unfortunate for you. Oh my god, you live. Fiery Demise, if you're set on fire, you can no longer revive from lethal damage. Take care not to repeat the mistakes of your ancestors. We've already seen that one. You know what it is. It's just mean you don't have your revival go off whenever you're in fire. That's both punishing for touching the fire, but also pretty nice because it doesn't burn through your heads for touching said fire. As I said, it's a mixed one whether you believe that's a good thing or not. You can gain more rage quickly if you keep hitting mobs while they wither. Fair enough. Athrometric. Although you thrive in temperate, moderate climates, extreme temperatures make your body either sluggish or tired. You're inflicted with weakness in hotter biomes and slowness in colder biomes. So if you go over to a colder biome over here, now you've got slowness on top of your regeneration. Go back over to the desert over here, you'll lose your slowness, but instead, you'll have weakness. Which is not fun. Not fun at all. Uncoordinated. Being a snake in a human form, your limbs are less dexterous and thus you cannot wield a shield. Ah, the classic unwieldy. And that one just means, you see the shield? No matter how much you right click, you can't use it. It just is what it is. Bob. It's a spiritual lich created by the user known as Amarath Red. This is a 3-impact origin. Having traded their soul for immortality, these former mages must now subsist on the souls of others. Let's go into it. Ethereal form. Your body can be temporarily destroyed, and when that happens, you'll drop your items and you'll go into your ethereal form. You'll be able to fly and phase until your body is completely restored after some waiting time. Or you can punch a mob with no soul or one of your summoned spirits while you're in your ethereal form to take their body. So if we get ourselves just a handful of husk over here and we die to them. Come, take me. Whoa, that's cool. So now you die. Punch. Oh, and you come back, and now they're gonna chase you, and they're poof. That's awesome. I love that. Back down to Earth we go. Hey Husk, Bye! I'm back! Haha! Suck it! Bye-bye! I am the best! The very... Oh no. Run away! I'm just gonna run in circles around you. Oh... Well, this is interesting. Hey, buddy. I'll take your life. Bye-bye! Have a great time! Hey, how you doing? Is there a limit? No, because every time you do this... So you see, I'll do this again. Just for demonstration purpose. So I'm now back in my human form. If I get killed again, I lose my items. My items are just dropped. Now we just have to wait. It also looks like the more often you do this, the longer the wait cooldown is when you are in your ghost form. Because last time, the form was immediately already decreasing. This time round, it's still maxed out. It's going to be a pretty big waiting period. Maybe there is a limit. Because the noises are changing. Back! No, we're just back to this again. That's pretty cool though. Spiritual magic. Instead of punching others, you'll use magic to attack. It will make the target weak and slow and deal really low but unblockable damage. This is with your left button. Oh, so this will do bonk, 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 bonk. It's basically you got punches, but they can't be blocked and they look cool. Bomb, 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 bink, bonk, donk, dink. Bonk, donk. And also, when this happens, it gives them slowness and weakness, which means they can't hurt you anywhere near as easy either. Next is Spirit Hunter. You kill entities in order to get their spirit. You can cause their spirit you can use their spirit you gathered, transforming them to aid you by using your primary key. You can use a shield or a sword in your offhand plus primary key to summon different kinds of spirits. Wherever you look, spirits will collect souls for you and die after 15 minutes. You can summon hunter spirits by using your primary with your offhand empty. They will act like team wolves and aid you. You can summon guardian spirits by using your primary with a shield in your offhand. They won't follow you, but will attack hostile mobs nearby. And you can summon vengeful spirits by using the primary with any sword in your offhand. They will attack anything on site, including passive mobs and players. Okay. So with nothing in your hands, you got dogs. So you got spirit dogs. So let's get a sword. Put that in our offhand, and then we press it. Oh yep, we've now got a golem spirit, effectively. And if we put a sword in our offhand, Oh, those are hoglins. So if we just put down a husk here, and then we also put down a cow. So when it comes to the cow, the red spirit, yeah, the red spirits will go straight for him. If I hit him, then our dog spirits will go straight for him. If we come over to our golem spirits and we do a zombie, everything will come and attack it except for the dogs. And if I get sent up, I can then come down and then take that spirit and become me. That's pretty cool. I like that. Decayed body. Due to your weak undead body, you only have 8 hearts and you take 40% more damage, deal 20% less damage, and you're also an undead creature. Ah, I see, I see. But this also means if I get myself out, instant damage, and use it on myself, I have full health again. Do that. But yeah, I take a lot of damage. Though the spirit's coming quickly to say, no, that ain't happening. Hey, cow. That's cool. I like this origin. That's pretty neat. And dead body. You are in between life and death, and because of that, your body can only be healed by consuming the spirits you gathered with your secondary ability. So the only way to heal with this origin, because you have no natural regeneration, is by using your secondary ability on these guys. Oh, it consumes your spirit bar and you'll heal a little bit. Secondary to heal some more. That was pretty interesting. I like that. That's a pretty neat origin. I just love all the effects here. Like, they're absolutely beautiful as always. Amorphred's pretty good at doing the effects, so good on them.